Hey, Ange, I'm up here with Mark and just checking out his kitchen. So, tell me about the concrete counter or the countertop here.
This is a quartz type,
Is it a rock?
manufactured, not
It's
real quartz,
manufactured.
fake quartz stuff.
Yeah. So this seems like it's a really good material, and it's a quartz manufactured. So it looks like it might be some kind of concrete or composite material, but it has good thermal mass. Really beautiful finish.
But it's not
Nice
like
and cool.
the 2.5-inch concrete ones that I poured in my house, which have so much thermal mass that they are freezing cold in the winter, and my
Yeah.
wife won't put her arms on the couch.
So this is a really good material.
Yeah.
So it's easy to clean. It looks really strong and sturdy. And then he did IKEA cabinets. So these are really beautiful cabinets and nice and modern. A really classy range hood here, nice stove, and open shelves. And then it looks like some, pretty cost-effective drawers here
Maple
and
ply,
whatnot.
and her favorite feature is the pull-out.
Yeah, so that's super nice. And then this is embedded in there's a really classy fridge embedded in with the cabinets around it.
That is like the lowest energy fridge when you guys do your off-grid thing. That is absolutely the fridge to get.
All right, Bloomberg. And then this is the shower. It's very similar to our shower, but nicer and larger and more open. So, but this is really
There
cool.
is such thing as too large,
Yeah,
When
I don't
you go somewhere
know.
with cold air, you want to like.
You can steam it up in there a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
And I like your pipes here. These are cool. Nice and industrial.
Oh,
Kind of
love that.
goes with the.
We struggle getting that thing, because they don't have them reverse threaded.
Yeah, I
so
know.
You're like,
How do you put it together exactly? It's a big puzzle.
Yeah, you gotta really
Think it through. All right, so it's May. We've had a lot of rain, and this is Mark McMillan's driveway. This is our switchback. You can see the water is kind of running onto the road here. So what we can do is just cut a really tight, narrow trench that goes right along there. Make sure we use the laser and get it into that little trench there on the hillside, and then it goes and drops into this culvert. And then all this stays dry when we have this spring condition. And then over here, we have the bottom of this culvert here, and we would basically just take that base elevation and do a slow, steady climb from the base there up into there, and just try to capture as much of that water as we can by bringing this all down and shoving some flagstone in on the slope to just create a little bit of a trench going down and in that way, and a maintained gutter essentially. And will prevent 90%, if not all, of the water that's running down the driveway now and kind of getting onto the driveway, but basically just it's being in many respects lost to the evaporation and groundwater. It just kind of going back into the groundwater table. So I don't think it's all going to waste, but we're probably losing more to evaporation than we need to. Anyway, Mark would like to capture that water and bring it this way into here. There's a nice little channel that comes down and in. Additionally, we will climb down this embankment with the Mini X carefully. Have two sizable boulders, probably 3-foot diameter boulders, positioned up here on the road for us that we'll harvest on site. And we'll hog out a little pocket for it right under that willow. Try not to damage the roots of the willow. Maybe we trim this branch here this low branch before we start working, just to protect the hydraulics of the machine and kind of protect the willow a little bit, because it might get mangled right there. That little branch can go, and we'll tuck a boulder right under the base of that and get it nice and secure. Get some nice dirt around it. Then we'll get one on this side of the culvert as well, right in here. Make a nice pocket, and then we'll do one across the top of the culvert. And we'll make a nice pocket for that culvert, or for that boulder that's going to go across the top. And then we will take and fill in over these rose bushes and widen the driveway this way a little bit. And we will use some of the material that we pull out of this trench and to reshape and contour that, to fill this in. And it's liable to be some soft topsoily stuff, but once it dries out, it should be doing all right. And if we can harvest some gravel, oh yeah, and there's some rock up there that we can try to grab some rock up there, and there's a little bit of road base there that we pushed into a pile with a plow, and so we'll flatten that out too, just to make that nice. All right, so we're gonna do 3 more loads of this river rock here, this river rock gravel that comes out of the pit down. It's down by kind of in between Longmont and Boulder. It's out of a riverbed. Kathy can get us this stuff. So we're gonna do 3 loads. We'll do 1 load just to kind of fill this in. We're gonna do a little trench, nice narrow. Well, we could do narrow or wide, but we're gonna do a trench. Basically, I'm thinking just downstream from that, where that gutter is trailing out into here, all through here and out to here, and then we're gonna fill it with gravel, and we'll go about 8 to 10 inches deep on that trench and fill it with gravel, and we could do 12 inches wide or 24 inches wide. It's just how much gravel we want to use. And as I was saying to Mark, is basically just having it run across the earth like this, in my opinion, is not bad. It's just fine, really. And it'll as soon as that snow melts, it's most of the year it's going to be dry right here, but that's the idea. Is we're going to go ahead and put a trench through here, fill it with gravel, and then we'll have you know, plenty of gravel to come across here and out into here. And basically we can kind of tie it in with the gravel that we're gonna bring from up there all the way down into here. So that'll be real nice. And Mark's gonna be rolling out those blankets. He's already spread some seed, and hopefully the seeds will take and go. So we're gonna need to adjust that riser on the propane tank up there. It shifted a little bit with the settling earth and has constricted the access to the fill-up valve, so we need to dig that out very carefully, not to hit the propane lines. You can open the lid and see down in and see where they're coming in and out, and you know, with hand labor and with assistance from the machine, we can dig out that riser, reset it, bury it back carefully, get some compaction around the edges so that it doesn't move again, and bury it back. Yep, and then we got the water line over here, so we have some rubble and cobbles and a little bit of uneven settling on the trench, and basically a bit of a scar there, so we want to try to clean that up and restore the hillside and the landscape and the grass, the natural look. So we're going to go through the water line trench there, and we'll take the 3-foot bucket and the Kubota, and we'll run up and down the whole line, 1 pass, and we'll rake it out, scarify the earth, and then we'll seed it with our, and pull the cobbles into the trench, and you could pack them a little bit, and but then when the earth is scarified and fluffed, we'll throw some native grass seed down and then roll out a straw blanket. And I believe, do we remember how many linear feet of trench this is? It's
probably about 300.
I was gonna say 3 or 4. So yeah, we think it's about 300 feet. So 3 rolls of the straw blankets. We can supply, or Mark can supply, depending on who can get a better price, I suppose. And that is about it. Also, Mark and what's your last name?
Marisa.
Marisa are going to give some thought to how have their yardscape finished out, and kind of they have a nice yard here that's all been graded out, and they're gonna give some thought and contemplate and discuss amongst themselves, get creative, and paint on the land where they're going to want some boulders. And then we will go up and down the driveway and go up on the hillside and harvest a number of boulders. You know, maybe I was suggesting 10 to 13 or so, and they'll place some paint marks where they want some boulders set, and then we'll be setting those, and we'll harvest those off of the hillside with the Mini X. Will go grab the boulders, maybe roll them down the hill or gently carry them down the hill, or put them into the bucket of the loader, and then we'll shuttle them up the driveway with the loader all the way up here and bring them up here, dump them in the vicinity, and we will plant them. Yeah, plant them and rake them out nice. We're going to bury them. 1/3 of the boulder will be below grade and 2/3 of the boulder will be above grade. We're going to place odd numbers of boulders theoretically, but Mark is going to make that decision with Marisa. And then the water line froze and it runs right straight through here. We did hit it when we were grading this and getting this all pitched exactly right, and we replaced it. We tried to get it down, but we were going through rock right through here, kind of right under the car, all going up to the corner of the building, if I recall. And so Mark and I were discussing solutions, and Mark came up with the brilliant idea of taking and picking up the water line right there and basically swooping it out through this downslope edge of the driveway where we have a nice bit of soft dirt where we can get this nice and deep and get plenty of dirt on it, and then curve it through here and swoop it up into there, which right around at the passenger front wheel of the car we should be able to find and pick up the existing water line and tie into it. So that'll be good. And we'll probably want to do this water line reroute first, because everything else is just going to be finish work and making it all look good. So this is going to be a invasive effort to trench out this alternate route on there. And we'll just abandon this little section of water line going through here. The electrical line is still intact, going all the way out to the well in the existing trench. So we'll be careful to, find the existing water line carefully. We could have it either privately located, or we could rent a locate machine from CPS and locate it ourselves, or we can go off of Mark's pictures, and with some hand labor and careful digging, we should be able to find that existing utility without having to locate it. We'll just be careful and find it.